podcast. I don't remember the number. I looked it up. I don't know. 240. Feels like too many. 45. Welcome to the Great British Baking Show. The This Old Knit Podcast, episode 144. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on all of the social medias that I participate in. This may be a really short episode. I don't have a lot of battery left on my phone, but I was done. Vlogmas is all I can do. I can't do a full podcast episode while Vlogmas is happening. November completely got away from me. We had house guests come for Thanksgiving, and that was great. A really old friend of my husband's and friend of mine, I need to stop holding this pile of yarn, came with his family to visit from New York City. God. Yeah, and it was really, really fun. But in preparation for that, I had like weeks of house cleaning. So I like to chunkatize my work. So I kind of divide it into levels of difficulty of jobs and parts of the house that I wanted to clean. Because we hadn't really done kind of a deep clean, all the surfaces, everything, for quite a while. They have two little kids. They have a 5-year-old and a 3 or 2-year-old. So we had to do a little bit of toddler proofing. Even so, there were still scissors in Joshua's room that they found and just put up high, and that's fine. But yeah, just a more deep level of cleaning than I normally do. So that really took up a lot of my November. And then Joshua was sick, Megan was sick, then I was sick. So, all the things. I also just remembered that I drew for the giveaway from the last episode. So I'm going to go grab those names now. Okay. Yes. And for those who have ever worked with me, which probably is like half of my podcast viewership at this point, this is my ARC planner. I use it for everything. So if you see me ever walking around, most likely I have this hot pink mess, which is my planner. Anyway, in it, I have written the names of the winners. So the last podcast that I did was in October, tail end of October, I think, but it was right before or maybe right after Rhinebeck. So I think I didn't have any of my purchases yet from India Untangled or Rhinebeck. I didn't go to Rhinebeck, but I still wanted to support my friends because they were vending, and I know it's a very difficult and challenging environment right now for indie dyers and designers and everything. So I did still purchase some things. I went to New England Fiber Festival, which is the first weekend in November. I have some purchases from that. I hung out with Gabby and her husband and one of their friends after the show, which was really nice. So yeah, I have a lot of acquisitions this episode. Mostly because I haven't really podcast in 2 months, and those are very high acquisition months because Christmas and all of the fiber festivals and so anyway, not gonna apologize. That's just what I do. But I did draw 2 winners from the comments from the last podcast because, gosh, guys, I really appreciated it so much. For those of you who have stuck with me for the 6 years I've been doing this podcast. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I know that I've been bleeding listeners, viewers, whatevers, for the last several months because I've been really erratic about podcasting. This is just where I am in my life right now. But for those who stuck with me, I want to thank you so much. So my 2 winners were Peggy Bork and Diane, who is Canned Music. So I think, Diane, I have your address. As long as you haven't moved from when you sent me the remnants or the one panel that has all of the special Christmassy panels on it from Affordable Fabrics, I have your address so I can send you something. But if you want to just drop me a message and let me know if that isn't your address anymore, I will use a different one. So Peggy and Diane, please contact me. I will send you things in the mail. And my plan is to maybe do just a random giveaway for each of my episodes, because I don't know that I'm going to do knit-alongs for a little bit. Just because I don't know how to do them yet. Without using Ravelry, it kind of leaves you in a place where it's like, what do you do? If you don't have a lot of viewers and not everybody is on Instagram, you can't use a hashtag. So I'm sort of stuck a little bit, and I'm not sure what to do because I had a hashtag for the long-term make-along. I don't think anyone used it at all. Pretty sure I used it, and that's it. So I need to think through for next year what I want to do, but I think I'm just going to do random giveaways because I think those are fun. So Peggy and Diane, please contact me. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for all of your wonderful comments, for how you're getting through the mess that is the world right now. Planner goes away. No, it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't go away. I think I'm going to do another episode that'll be like my knitting year in review, but the year's not over. I might still finish something. One of the pages I have in here is this one. So this was the grid that I decided I was going to use for this year to try and knit sweaters. So I did like a grid of 16 different things. And then I wrote here what the projects were that were for each of them. I did not knit 16 sweaters this year, but I knit a lot. So there you go. So I may kind of carry this over into 2022 and try to do the rest of them. So the ones I have not done yet are cables, texture, long time queue, tweed, which I'm doing a tweed sweater right now as a test knit. Spoiler alert. Impulse knit, long time queue again, and held double. Maybe I'll put in something else for a long time queue because I had 2 long time queue squares. And I'm working on a held double project right now too, which I don't have. I have 2 things I need to grab from my desk. I'm gonna pause. Okay. Also, Ada's really sick right now. She's thrown up 3 times now. She's off food and just on water for today. She ate a third of a box of Mike and Ike's out of Megwin's room yesterday. She's not supposed to have candy in her room. Nevertheless. Anyway, so she's over here on the floor laying down. I'm periodically just looking over at her. Right now, I don't have any reason to think it's anything other than just an upset tummy from eating too much sugar and carnauba wax, but, you know, it is a holiday weekend, which is always the rule for when your dog is going to need to have veterinary care, is when you have to take him to the emergency vet. But fingers crossed, it's just she got into some candy that didn't agree with her, and that she'll be fine being on bland food for a few days. But today she's not going to have any food. And then tomorrow we'll see how she is with rice. All right. So anyway, I'm working on a held double project. I'm working on a tweed project. And I'm working on a long time Q project. So I would have, if I had those 3 sweaters done, been really close to getting my bingo? Knitting bingo? But whatever. So, since I talked to you last time, I have 2 finished objects. I actually have 3, but I don't know where the other one is. So I knit a dark side cowl for Joshua. I also knit several mittens for him from the World's Simplest Mitten pattern by Tin Can Knits. But they're all just randomly scattered around the house. So I will show you what I have. This was a long time Q project, but I put it in as a reverse stockinette project. And it is my Comfort Fade Cardi. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and it is knit all out of Jinx Yarns. I had this yarn before I moved to Connecticut, so I bought it quite a while ago. It was the last year that Laura was dyeing yarn. She doesn't dye yarn anymore. She was the dyer behind Jinx Yarns. So in order of progression down, this one is Never Ender. This one is Land of Glaze. This one is Part of Your World. And this one is The Cake is a Lie. They are all on her Merino DK base, and I love this sweater so much. It is super comfy and big, and I actually like that it doesn't have a belt. It just lays perfectly. So, yeah, it's just a great pattern. I doubted the yardage requirements, but they are pretty accurate. I definitely needed the second skein that I got of all of the yarns, and I don't have a ton left of any of them. In fact, I'm not even sure I would have enough to make a belt of any one color. I've thought about, if I did make a belt, if I do like probably Land of Glaze and Part of Your World, and maybe do like casting on as many stitches as I wanted the belt long, and then knitting like half of it with one and half of it with the other, because it would probably sit right about at that cutoff point. But I don't feel any intense need to have a belt, so there you go. It's a super cozy, super warm, super nice, super sweater. I have not washed it or blocked it yet. Most of my ends are woven in, but there are 2. Are there any? Maybe there's not any. I may have worked all of them in. Nope. There are 2 in the sleeve. But otherwise, they are all worked in. And all worked in down here. So basically you knit the whole sweater, and then this collar is like a sweater unto itself. It's so big. So many short rows. But as I said, it lays very, very nicely. I think I made this size 40-inch chest. So it's just like 2 inches of positive ease on me. So yeah, it's really nice. I love how it turned out. I'm sure I will wear it on some future podcasts, but I already had on my Hinterland sweater and I didn't feel like changing. The next FO, I think, fell into this pile. The next FO is the West Village skirt, and it is by Little Big Knits, who is Selma. I test knit this for her, and she just released the pattern yesterday. So I am podcasting on the 30th. Yep, the 30th of December, 2021. And here it is. So the pattern is a skirt recipe, so it walks you through how to make a skirt that fits your exact measurements and it tells you kind of what to do for increases, whether you want them to be like butt darts or if you want hip increases only. I did hip increases only because I have very little in the way of a butt. So I just did them on the sides. It also has instructions for how to put elastic in your waistband and finish off your waistband. And I just went for a really basic one, but you could of course add texture or, pattern stitches or whatever you want. You can make it as long as you want. This one is kind of mid-thigh for me. It almost goes to my knees, but of course on the back it's shorter because of your butt. But I wear it over leggings. I've worn it to walk Ada a few times. It makes it really nice and cozy. So super fun. The yarn that I used is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the Timber kettle dye. I've had it for a really long time, so it was purely a stash knit. But obviously non-superwash is a little bit better because it doesn't like stretch out and grow, so you don't get a saggy butt halfway through the day. This one still looks really good, even I've worn it a bunch of times. Again, have not washed and walked it, but I just started wearing it. I also wore it for Magwin's birthday party, and it was nice. Yeah, that's probably going to end up being the YouTube screenshot, because I found during Vlogmas that the YouTube algorithm is going to pick the stupidest face that you can possibly make, and that will be all of your choices for your thumbnail, unless you make a custom thumbnail. And apparently I have resting bitch face like no tomorrow, because there are some weird expressions that it picked for me for Vlogmas, and I just embraced it. So I picked the weirdest, stupidest screenshot that it took of me for every day, and that's the one that I put for my Vlogmas for that day. And for the 100 people who watch my Vlogmas every day, hats off to you, because my life even bores me. Editing them was like, oh God, I have to relive this day again. A little bit of Groundhog Day. So I can't believe that 100 of you literally want to watch me do nothing all day, but I love you all so much. I'm glad that I could entertain you with my holiday magic. Okay, that is all my FOs. A lot. That's a lot, considering that some of them aren't there. So then, things that I am working on. I finally cast on for another Husbeast sweater. So this is out of Briar Rose Fibers. Country Road is the yarn base. I don't remember the name of the colorway. It has a lot of veg matter, like a lot. Like every few inches, I'm picking hay out of this, but I don't care because it feels really nice and it's very light. So I think it's going to be a really nice sweater for Josh. And it's, I think, a woolen spun, because usually they're not this light if it's a worsted spun. So I do believe this is a woolen spun yarn. I mean, guys, look at this. It's insane. I kept going, this can't be right. This can't be right. It must be too big. This is a 60-inch needle. So I'm doing the 56-inch chest size for him. And it is the Urban Hiker by Tin Can Knits. So it's essentially a cardigan with a zipper in the front, which I'm excited. I've never done zippers before in my knitting. So I think that you add a placket on so that this cable doesn't roll inward, because right now it's kind of rolling in. So it has this really pretty twisted stitch pattern. I have completed one full chart. That's one chart. So it's just going to keep undulating like that with these nice triangles. It's really cool. And the cuffs on the sweater have this same pattern on them. And then it's got just a garter ribbing. I do like how this yarn is knitting up. I'm alternating gigantic skeins. I have three skeins of this. They are really big. Really, really big cakes. I think the cakes are like 600-ish yards of worsted a piece. So they're chonkers. This one is even a little bit bigger. Because I did all of the garter, I think, with one, and then I switched to alternating once I got the pattern going. It's a little twisted, too. I feel like I need to stop and gather my thoughts here. Yeah, this is a hot mess. Hot mess. Okay. All right. Got that cleaned up. My intention was to podcast with my mom because she is still visiting. She's going to be here through New Year's. And then she's going to go home on Sunday. So I will try to record a little bit with her. However, the kids have been super extra with her being here and visiting. And they're both like trying to compete for her attention. And behavior ensues. Maybe not so great behavior in some cases. So I just took advantage of the opportunity of they went to the antique store and I'm in a podcast because I don't want to wait anymore. I've got too much stuff to share. So that is my Urban Hiker. I'm losing battery. I have 15% now, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to record. I'm going to move on. The next one is the Very V-neck raglan. I think I showed that I ripped out or was ripping out the one that I was doing in Sea Captain's Widow and Knit Picks held together because the Knit Picks was pooling really badly. It looked like weird electric leopard stripes, spots. Leopards have spots. Okay. So this is it now. It looks really open, like, because there's no neckband. And I've thought about stopping and doing the neckband because it annoys me that it's so open. However, it's fine. So this is Ponkin, the most glorious and beautiful, wonderful orange ever conceived of by humans. It is Flies and Hellhounds. This is on the penny base, held double with the fig lace base. So it is mohair and MCN held double, and I am a monster and I don't even care because it is mine. So this is a pattern by Jessie Made Designs, the Very V-neck raglan. This is my second one. I am now down to where I was with my first one, and it is glorious, and I love it. I love everything about it. It is so squidgy and warm and wonderful. I tried it on. It's a little bit big in the back, so I've started doing some back decreases because I don't want it to have that much positive ease on the back. However, I'm going to do 2 more sets of waist decreases and back decreases intermittently in there as well. And then I'll come back out for the hips, but I will leave the back where it is. So that's that. Love it. These are all my waist decreases. It's in my TARDIS bag that Melody Crochet made for me. It's so pretty. Then I'm doing a test knit for Samantha of Samantha Guerin Designs. This one is called the Chalet Days sweater. This is some deep stash with some new stash. So I did not show this, but I got the Vine Witch box, I think in late October, early November. And one of the colorways was this one, which is Sorcier. And it is, I think, one of the most beautiful wine reds that I have ever seen. And I really hope that Gabby dyes this for the shop, because I would love to have a full sweater out of this. It's so beautiful. But anyway, I only had one skein. And then her latest full moon color was Winter Maker Moon. So I picked up an extra skein of that on mohair because I thought, ooh, that probably will go pretty well. And it totally does. So it's lighter, but mohair always is a little lighter. It just doesn't pick up the color as saturated. So I'm holding these double, and I'm holding them with some Knit Picks City Tweed DK. This is in the Obsidian colorway, and I've had this since 2014. So I bought it originally to do a scarf for Josh that had 2 Aran weight held together, and then it was cabled. I mean, it was huge. It was like this thing that was supposed to be like you could clip it across. So it was like kind of a hood, and you could clip it. Anyway, I knit like that much of it, and he hated it. So I ripped it out, but it's been sitting in my stash ever since. But it was so much yarn that I can make a sweater for myself out of it. So I'm finally making a sweater out of myself, or for myself out of it. So the Chalet Days sweater. And here is what I have so far. Oh God. Oh God. Yarn's gonna pour out everywhere. You're not gonna be able to see it because I have crap lighting today. Crap lighting. And with my battery being low, oh, there we go. Yeah. It's gonna be low contrast, and I am here for it. So I wanted it to be kind of subtle. I really love it. I'm pulling stitches off. Good God. It is a little slippery. I almost wish I had used wooden needles. I might still slip it onto some wooden needles because Knit Picks City Tweed has alpaca in it. So it's fuzzy, fuzzy, fuzzy. It's alpaca wool acrylic. And then the merino is, the DK is Polworth. So the Sorcier is Pole DK, which is Polworth. And then the fig lace. So lots of fuzz, lots of floof, lots of halo, gorgeousness. And it is gonna be so pretty. I want it right now. It's gonna be good. So I'm doing the 40-inch chest size. It seems like it's gonna have a more open neckline because starting out it was already 24 inches on the neckline. But we'll see. Maybe we're going to do more ribbing and kind of close that up later. I don't know. Or it's going to be a more open boat necky neckline. It didn't look like that in the pictures. So I think there's going to be something happening later that's going to close it up a little bit. God. Now I have fur everywhere and yarn everywhere because it all fell out. All right. Oh my God, I think that fell through. I'll have to fix that in a minute. It's like attached now around the handle of my tote bag. And I think I'm gonna have to save my acquisitions for another time because I'm gonna run out of batteries. This is just gonna be a short and sweet episode. But the last thing I've really been working on at all is my Fiena sweater. And here it is. So this is an all-over brioche sweater, 2-color brioche up here, and then 1-color brioche down here. But I am alternating skeins. This is 2 colors of Plies and Hellhounds. This one is Fireheart, and this one is Buzzard. For Fireheart, I held it double with fig lace. So it is the penny base, which is the Sparkle Sparkle base. And ginger. the ginger base, which is Sparkle Sparkle. And I'm holding that double with Fig Lace. Then this is the Isaac Mix, I think. It's the, I think it's the Polworth Fingering Weight base. I really need to stop saying base names because I don't know them. And I'm sorry, Gabby. Anyway, this is Buzzard, and it is beautiful. They're both like Throne of Glass reference colors, but the rest of my sweater is going to be all in Buzzard. And then I think this comes back on the cuffs, I think. But I'm not sure. Let's see. Yes, it does. So it is a design by Olga Albrecht. There aren't very many of them on Ravelry, but you can see right there, it's got on the cuffs the same pattern coming back. So I'll have to dig that back up because I don't know where it is. Probably in my scraps because I thought I was done with it. If I can't find it, it's just going to be Buzzard all the way down. That's fine. This is my kind of pick up vanilla knitting project because it's going to take me forever because it is brioche. So you're knitting every row twice, which is fine. So it just takes a long time. As long as I don't have any illusions that I'll finish it anytime soon and it's just like pick it up and knit some rows, that's what I'm doing. So on it, I have my stitch marker from the last Charmed and Dangerous club I did, which was Coffee Lovers. Or maybe it was Hygge. Anyway, it was a bunch of coffee stuff. So this is a coffee bean. There was also a coffee pot and a little coffee cup with a heart on it. So it has the coffee bean on it, and it's got this stitch marker. That I got from Kristen. It was a set for her birthday, but it's like the same colors as the green, so I thought it really looked nice on there. Anyway, those are all my projects I'm currently working on. I'm predominantly working on the test knit, and then kind of working on Josh's sweater off and on. The Fiena sweater, like I said, it's just really like when I feel like doing something that doesn't take a lot of thought. And then the next thing I'll probably cast on is this. So this is going to be an Everyday Slouchy hat from Everyday Slouchy Beanie by Tristan Molina. Yep. And it is for fingering weight and mohair held double. I actually will have enough with just this one skein of mohair. I was a little bit worried because this is Shibui Cloud. It's like an undyed white. And then this is my Christmas skein from Sue, Crafty Knitter Sue, the co-host of the Distant Stitches podcast. So I'm going to hold those two double, and then I've got a really pretty white alpaca pom-pom that I will put on the top of it. And it will be really warm, but I wanted a really warm hat for winter, so that one features a double folded brim for extra warmy worms on your ears. That's probably going to go on the needles really soon, so that I'll have that kind of to pick up and work on too, because it'll just be stockinette forever and ever. But someday I will have a hat out of it, and that'll be great. And I also need to cast on some more mittens for Joshua, because I knit him some out of a, it was a big ball of yarn that I got, but he says they're not very warm, so I need to make him like some thicker ones and maybe make them a little bit bigger, and then I think they could go on top of the ones that I knit before, and those could be like a liner, because they're woolen spuns. They hold a lot of warmth, but I think if they get wet, they're not great. So I'm going to maybe get like a bulky weight yarn and knit some really tight gauge mittens as an overlayer for warmth. So that's that. I have some yarn on my lap, but this was like a Christmas purchase. So this is Gabby's Christmas color that I got. I showed it on my Vlogmas, so for those that watched Vlogmas, this is a review. But for those who didn't, it is No Poison Day, which is a Ice Planet Barbarians reference. That's like all of their holidays shoved into one. They have a holiday called No Poison Day. It kind of happens in the winter, deep winter time. It's sort of a combination of Christmas and Valentine's Day and Easter and all of the things you could think of. Maybe Thanksgiving. Anyway, it's a beautiful blue. Beautiful blue. I'm going to make a sweater out of it. Duh, stupid. Of course I will. I'm just trying to decide which sweater to make. I'm between the Cozy Classic Light by Jessie Maed, or there's one by Zenit Knits that I got that's like faux brioche. I think it's like fisherman's rib. But it's short sleeved, so it's more of a summer top. And I haven't yet decided if I would like this to be my Christmas-y sweater or if I think I want it to be something for summer. Since I got it on the Tesla base, which has silk in it, this is only one of 2 sweater quantities I have on the Tesla base. I don't have very many with silk in them. So that's what made me kind of think, summery. But I don't know. So since I haven't decided, it's sitting on my coffee table being a beautiful Christmas decoration, and I am not mad about it. And the other thing I got of her Christmas stuff is Cheer or Fear on the Cecil base. Again, this is an Aran weight. This is going to be a hat, I think. Because again, I need some more warm hats, and I think it'll be really pretty. Yeah, I think it needs to be a hat. If I have any left over, I will make some mittens, though. But I don't know if I will have any left over. But it's really pretty, like, dark purple with some black speckles and brown. Yeah, some brown there. It's really pretty. So anyway, Cheer or Fear. So that's all the Christmas colors I got. And I think I'm gonna save my India Untangled Rhinebeck haul and just sort of show it periodically throughout future episodes, because probably not gonna buy a lot of yarn for a little while, because I got a lot of stuff I want to work through, and I'm just getting back in the swing of things from my hand. My hand is much better. So my tendonitis has healed fairly well. I still do get some twinges if I'm doing stuff for a long time or if I lay on it wrong. So sometimes I sleep on my hand and then I'll wake up and it will hurt. But yeah, it feels much better. So I know the last time I podcast, it was not long after or maybe before I got my cortisone injection. So I was feeling kind of nah, because I really couldn't knit. I got to the point where I couldn't knit at all. So I'm glad that that is past. Thank goodness. I love knitting so much and I was not ready to give it up. So I'm glad that that worked out and everything was good. So I will try to do one more podcast maybe around like the first of the year and show my 2021 year in review for knits and tell you guys about all of the stuff that I made. I made quite a lot of stuff. I'm pretty proud of my efforts, especially considering I had 2 months in there where I really couldn't knit at all. I got quite a few sweaters done. I made some nice stuff for the kids and for Josh. And I'm looking forward to what I can do in 2022. So thank you to everyone who watches, comments, checks in. I hope for those that celebrated, you all had a really wonderful holiday season. Whatever holiday you celebrate, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, or the solstice, the winter solstice. And they are back. Great timing. Have a wonderful and safe new year. Get vaccinated or get your booster. Take care of yourselves. I hope you get to spend time doing the things you love, and I will talk to you hopefully very soon. Goodbye.